I'm Jhonna, and this is my channel, Jhonna Unfiltered. Today, I want to talk about something a bit different. Something people are curious about, but don't always fully understand. And that is the mix between an INFJ personality and being born in the year of the rat. Before anything else, I just want to be clear. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a mental health professional. And I don't treat this like a strict science. This is more like a study, a way to look at patterns, to reflect, and maybe understand ourselves a little better. Let's be honest, people like labels sometimes. Not to limit themselves, but to make sense of who they are. And that's normal. That's human. So, if you are someone who is an INFJ, often described as quiet, deep, intuitive, and very aware of emotions, and at the same time, you were born in the year of the rat, known for being clever, observant, resourceful, and strategic, then this combination becomes very interesting. Because now you have someone who feels deeply but also thinks ahead. Someone who notices everything, but doesn't always say everything. And that creates a person who is very powerful internally, but sometimes misunderstood externally. Let's break that down in a simple way. INFJs are known as this observer type. They read people. They feel the energy in a room. They can sense when something is off, even if no one says anything. And they care a lot. Sometimes too much. On the other side, people born in the year of the rat are known to survive, to adapt, to think fast, to plan, and to use their environment wisely. So when you combine these two, you get someone who is not just emotional but also smart about those emotions. Someone who doesn't just feel, but also analyzes what they feel. This can be a strength, but also a struggle. Imagine noticing every small detail, every tone of voice, every change in behavior. And at the same time, your brain is already thinking 10 steps ahead. That can be exhausting. One of the biggest challenges here is overthinking. This type of person doesn't just think. They replay conversations. They imagine different outcomes. They question themselves. And sometimes, they carry emotions that are not even theirs. That can lead to stress, anxiety, and even isolation. Instead of reacting right away, they step back. They observe. They process. And sometimes, they don't come back to the conversation at all. Now, let's talk about strengths. This combination is not weak. In fact, it's very strong. INFJ year of the rat individuals are very good at understanding people. They can build deep connections, not just surface-level conversations. They listen. They remember. They care. At the same time, they are not naive. The rat energy makes them cautious. They don't trust easily. They test people quietly. They observe patterns. Once they see something is wrong, they don't ignore it. They step away without drama. That's something people don't always see. From the outside, they look calm, maybe even passive. But internally, they are making strong decisions. And once they decide, it's hard to change their mind. Now, in relationships, things get more complicated. This type of person wants deep, meaningful, and real connections. They don't like fake interactions. They don't enjoy shallow conversations. They want honesty, loyalty, and emotional safety. At the same time, they don't always express their needs clearly. They expect people to understand them, without saying too much. When that doesn't happen, they feel disappointed. Not always angry, but quietly hurt. This can lead to a pattern. They give a lot. They support a lot. But they don't always receive the same energy back. Because of that, they start to pull away. Not because they don't care, but because they are protecting themselves.
This is important to understand.
They are not cold. They are careful. Now, let's talk about weaknesses. One major weakness is emotional overload. They absorb so much from their environment. They can feel drained easily, especially around negative or demanding people. Another weakness is perfectionism. They set high standards, not just for others, but for themselves. When they don't meet those standards, they can be very hard on themselves, sometimes even unfair. Another struggle is boundaries. They want to help. They want to be there, but they don't always know when to stop. That can lead to burnout. If you relate to this, here's something honest and direct. You don't need to fit perfectly into a label. You don't need to prove that you are an INFJ or a rat or anything else. These are tools, not rules. What matters is how you understand yourself and how you take care of yourself. If you overthink, learn to pause. If you absorb too much emotion, create space for yourself. If you give too much, learn to say no without guilt. At the end of the day, self-awareness is only useful if you act on it. That's the real challenge. Not just knowing who you are, but learning how to live with it in a healthy way. Instead of asking, "What am I?" ask, "What do I need to improve?" Or, "What habits are helping me and what habits are hurting me?" That's where real growth happens. Not in labels, but in actions.
So now I want to ask you something.
Do you feel like you are someone who observes more than you speak? And if yes, do you see that as your strength, or something that sometimes holds you back? I'd really like to know your thoughts in the comments. Everyone's experience is different, and your story might help someone else understand themselves better too. Thanks for watching. If this video resonated with you, please consider hitting the subscribe button. I want to be upfront and share that I use this text-to-speech voice to tell my stories because as a full-time ESL teacher, I have to be very careful with my vocal cords. Managing vocal nodules means I have to save my voice for my students, but I didn't want that to stop me from sharing these unfiltered thoughts with you. I'm Jhonna, and I'm currently working toward my goal of 1,000 subscribers so I can finally monetize this channel and turn this passion into a sustainable part of my future. This is my diary of solo living here in the Philippines, and your support, whether through a comment or a sub, helps me keep this channel growing. If you would like to help out even more, you can check out the Buy a Treat for My Pets link in the description. My dogs definitely appreciate the love. Make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss the next update. Thank you for being such an important part of this journey. I'm Jhonna, and I will see you in the next one.